New Albion, the incandescent dragon. What is good with this brand new card coming? Does Branded Despia deserve and need more support? Well, apparently they need it for the lore. This is the version of Albaz fusing with Ecclesia, I think. I don't know. You tell me. But more importantly, what the hell does this card do?
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
This is going to be a Fallen Albaz plus Light Spellcaster monster, so what we will do real quick is we can go straight to the tiered list, look at a Branded Despia deck, and look at how the deck's being played, or look at a sample deck list. So we will Branded Fusion summon this, but how do we ensure that it's better to Branded Fusion summon this than ending on a Mirror Jade instead? Or is this just for roleplay? Are we roleplaying or are we actually summoning this? So this will be a Fallen Albaz and a Light Spellcaster monster. So normally we would send a light or dark, but this specifies it has to be a light spell caster. Now, obviously, they want you to summon Ecclesia because the lore. But is sending her even going to be a good idea? Probably not. So we're going to look at the most popular light spell casters, and then we're going to figure out what the card even does. Send Effect Veiler if you're playing that, send Ecclesia, sending Fairy Tale Snow, which is banned in the TCG. That would be very good. But I think what's also very good, as you can see right here, is sending Jowgen. So I think sending Jowgen or Fairy Tale Snow would be the really good idea to send here. So now that we have summoned it with Branded Fusion, 3,000 attack, what did we accomplish? This has to be comparable to Mirror Jade. If we can't make it better than Mirror Jade, then it's useless. So let's see. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. That's already a bonus over the Mirror Jade. Mirror Jade could get impermanenced. Okay. During your opponent's turn, you can target 2 monsters in either graveyard. Special summon both monsters, 1 on each field. So what I would like to think is, what if we're playing the mirror match? I'm playing against Branded Despia against Branded Despia. Instead of turn 1 Branded Fusion into a Mirror Jade, I summon Incandescent Dragon, sending a Jowgen. Now, the Jowgen states that neither player could special summon monsters. So what I'm thinking is, if the opponent activates a Branded Fusion of their own, I then chain the Incandescent Dragon, summoning Jowgen onto the field, and then straight up, you now cannot special summon. So I would at least wait to essentially burn your Branded Fusion, and then you're going to have to attack over the Jowgen. And I'll be giving you Albaz in defense. And since you're getting Albaz in defense, you would be able to activate Albaz if it weren't for Jowgen. So the Jowgen also turns off giving you the Albaz and turns off your special summon with the Branded Fusion. So that's kind of interesting. Now, what else we could do is by summoning the Albaz whenever we want on our own field instead of the Jowgen, we could fuse into our opponent's monster. Highlighting the wrong card, by the way, Albaz. So as long as our opponent has a light or a dark monster, we could make a Mirror Jade. We could also go straight into Mirror Jade if they have an extra deck monster. So this could be not a replacement for Mirror Jade, but extend into Mirror Jade while also giving you other plays, while also possibly being more protective with not being able to be targeted by card effects. Now, one of the biggest part of Branded Despia is not only Mirror Jade itself, but Mirror Jade summoned on the turn 1 generally searches a Branded in red or other branded traps, and the Branded in red combos up with the ad libitum. So you'll be losing out on the ad libitum into Chimera. So it's not even about Mirror Jade, it's Chimera and Mirror Jade having this instead. So now it has an additional effect. So right now we're establishing that it could summon Albaz on your field during your opponent's turn to fuse with the opponent's monster. It's untargetable. It could summon Jowgen to stop your opponent from special summoning. It could also just get a good way to get Snow in the graveyard, which would be a good way to play around cards like Dark Ruler No More, playing around Droplet. So I do think this is a big bonus for the deck, and I would very likely be summoning this over Mirror Jade. I think so. I think the Jowgen and being untargetable makes it more protective. Now, it has a third wild effect. If this card is in the graveyard, you contribute 4 monsters on the field in the extra monster zones of each player and the center monster zone. So if we look at what the field looks like, we would have to tribute a monster here, and then both monsters in the extra monster zones. Now, your opponent could just avoid summoning in the center zones. Well, the effect of the dragon is you summon a monster onto their field. So make sure you summon the monster from either player's graveyard into their center monster zone. Summon your monster in your center monster zone if you want, or you can just normal summon into it. And then if they make any link monster, so against a link deck, you will be able to tribute their link monster, plus the monster that they have in the center monster zone that you gave them, which could be their own monster or yours, and your normal summon monster in the middle or special summon, and then make sure to summon your fusion in the extra monster zone, then it's back on the field. Back on the field. So that's pretty interesting. Okay. And I will say there is another downside of this card that we didn't bring up. Cannot be used as a fusion material. The other downsides being that you're summoning this over Chimera Mirror Jade play. So what do you think about this? I would like to use it myself, but would I like to have Jowgen be summoned against me? No, I don't think that's cool. Giving them potentially a competitively viable main deck floodgate. We all know that the Ido did not really pan out. So summoning Ido being a main deck floodgate, but I feel like Jowgen is a lot more accessible than the Ido play. And what do you think? Jowgen, Branded Despia, is that going to be the new way to play? Effects 3 is cringe. It's going to be rare to do this. It's not going to be easy to do so. Untargetable, summon Jowgen or Snow or Albaz Fuse. So you tell me, Albion, the incandescent dragon, Branded Despia support. Let's see what people talk about in the comments about it. Oh, they fuse together. Yes, Albaz in Ecclesia. Maybe there's some fan art with that. So here you go. Yeah, they're both sitting by the fire, and then they're going to fuse into that dragon, except we're not actually going. There you go. Just like that. That's going to be what they want you to do in the lore. Second effect can make a Mirror Jade on enemy turn. Yes, so we were talking about that. Summon Albaz, very good. Untargetable, special summon, blah, 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 blah. The graveyard effect, yeah, you know, the graveyard effect is going to be difficult to do. Summon monster in the graveyard, Branded Witchcrafters. Oh, okay, yeah. That's another thing to talk about with this card is making it splashable in other decks. Spellcaster, let's see. Because I like Witchcrafters, and Witchcrafters are getting more support. A Dogmatica, maybe? A Dogmatica play? Wait. Altergeist? So we could put Branded. Branded's already splashable, but now it's even more splashable. Summon Maddam there? That's great. Discard a spell. We could just put this in any deck, actually. Discard a spell. Negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls, and a Branded deck already plays a bunch of spells. They're just not going to be recyclable, so probably would not be doing that, but in a Witchcrafter deck. So yeah, I'm excited for that, actually. I love Witchcrafters, and that's actually something I would be wanting to play with myself. So there you go. Albion, Incandescent Dragon. Let's go.